Lord John Russell 1846-1852. Lord John Russell, a prominent political figure in 19th-century Britain, played a pivotal role in shaping the political landscape during a transformative period. His career, spanning several decades, left an indelible mark on British politics and society. This introduction aims to provide a glimpse into Russell's political journey, set against the backdrop of the complex and dynamic mid-19th century. Born in 1792 into the influential Russell family, John Russell entered the political arena at a time of significant social and political change. His early years in politics were marked by a commitment to Whig principles and a keen interest in parliamentary reform. Russell's ascent within the Whig Party was steady, and he quickly gained recognition for his intellectual acumen and dedication to progressive ideals. Russell's political career reached its zenith when he assumed the position of Prime Minister in 1846. His premiership was characterized by a series of challenges, including economic crises, the Irish potato famine, and the ongoing debate over parliamentary reform. As a leader, Russell navigated these turbulent waters with a blend of pragmatism and idealism, leaving an enduring legacy that merits closer examination. The mid-19th century was a period of profound transformation for Britain, encompassing social, economic, and political changes. The Industrial Revolution had accelerated the pace of urbanization and industrialization, leading to the rise of a burgeoning working class and heightened social tensions. Simultaneously, the British Empire was expanding globally, entrenching the nation as a major world power. The political landscape was marked by debates over parliamentary reform, free trade, and the role of the state in addressing societal issues. The repeal of the Corn Laws in 1846, a landmark event during Russell's premiership, symbolized a shift towards free trade policies and signaled a departure from protectionist economic measures. Against this backdrop of change and upheaval, Lord John Russell's leadership took center stage. His premiership coincided with critical moments in British history, and his decisions shaped the trajectory of the nation. Russell's commitment to progressive ideals and parliamentary reform positioned him as a leader willing to confront the challenges of his time. As Prime Minister, Russell faced the daunting task of addressing the devastating effects of the Irish potato famine, navigating economic uncertainties, and implementing social reforms. His responses to these challenges reflected not only his political acumen but also his dedication to addressing the pressing issues facing the nation. Russell's leadership, though met with criticism and opposition, left an enduring impact on British politics, setting the stage for further reforms and shaping the evolution of the Whig Party. Lord John Russell's early life was marked by privilege and political lineage. Born on August 18, 1792, into the illustrious Russell family, he inherited a legacy deeply intertwined with British aristocracy and politics. The Russells had long been a prominent force in British politics, and John Russell's upbringing exposed him to the nuances of power, governance, and societal responsibilities. Educated at Westminster School and later at the University of Edinburgh, Russell developed a keen intellect and a passion for literature and history. His formative years provided him with a solid educational foundation, shaping his worldview and instilling in him a sense of duty to contribute to the public sphere. Russell's entry into politics was a natural progression given his family's political heritage. He entered the House of Commons in 1813 as the Member of Parliament, MP, for Tavistock, a seat that had been held by his family for generations. Russell's early contributions to parliamentary debates showcased his eloquence and commitment to Whig principles. His initial years in politics coincided with a period of significant social and political change in Britain. The Napoleonic Wars had recently concluded, and the nation was grappling with issues related to economic recovery, social inequality, and political representation. Russell aligned himself with the Whig Party, a faction that advocated for parliamentary reform and the expansion of political rights. Russell's early contributions to parliamentary debates centered on these key issues. He passionately argued in favor of electoral reform, championing the cause of extending suffrage to a broader section of society. His speeches demonstrated not only his dedication to progressive ideals but also his ability to articulate complex political concepts with clarity and conviction. Russell's rise within the Whig Party was marked by a combination of political astuteness and a genuine commitment to reform. As the Whigs navigated the changing political landscape, Russell played a crucial role in shaping the party's agenda. His advocacy for the Reform Act of 1832, a landmark piece of legislation that expanded voting rights and redrew electoral districts, solidified his standing within the party. Russell's ascent continued as he assumed key ministerial positions, including roles in the cabinets of Lord Grey and Lord Melbourne. His responsibilities included overseeing educational reforms and addressing issues related to civil liberties. Russell's reputation as a reformist and his ability to navigate the intricacies of parliamentary politics further elevated him within the Whig hierarchy. By the time he became Prime Minister in 1846, Lord John Russell had already established himself as a seasoned politician with a deep commitment to liberal ideals and a track record of advocating for transformative changes. His early life and political career set the stage for the pivotal role he would play in shaping the future of Britain during a time of profound change. The Irish potato famine, which began in 1845 and lasted for several years, was a humanitarian disaster of immense proportions. The primary cause was the widespread failure of the potato crop, a staple food in Ireland, due to a potato blight, Phytophthora infestans. The resulting famine had devastating consequences, leading to mass starvation, disease, and a significant decline in Ireland's population through death and emigration. As Prime Minister during this tumultuous period, Lord John Russell faced the formidable challenge of responding to the Irish potato famine. Russell's government grappled with the complexities of providing relief to the suffering Irish population while navigating the economic and political considerations of the time. Russell implemented a series of measures to alleviate the immediate effects of the famine. These included public works projects to provide employment, the distribution of limited food aid, and attempts to facilitate emigration as a means of reducing the population pressure on the country. However, the response was criticized for being insufficient in scale and for lacking a comprehensive strategy to address the root causes of the crisis. Lord John Russell's premiership was characterized by a commitment to liberal and reformist ideals. Building on the Whig tradition of advocating for social and political change, Russell sought to address key issues facing Britain during the mid-19th century. His reform agenda aimed at fostering progress, reducing social inequalities, and adapting to the evolving needs of a rapidly industrializing society. Russell's government introduced several significant legislative initiatives during his premiership. One of the most notable was the repeal of the Corn Laws in 1846, a move towards free trade that had profound implications for Britain's economic policies. The decision, although divisive at the time, signaled a departure from protectionist measures and contributed to a more open and dynamic economic environment. Additionally, Russell's government worked towards educational reforms, addressing issues related to access to education and the quality of schooling. The Factory Acts, aimed at regulating working conditions in factories and protecting the rights of workers, were also part of Russell's broader reform agenda. Lord John Russell's premiership coincided with a period of significant international developments. Britain was a major player in global affairs, and Russell had to navigate the complexities of a rapidly changing geopolitical landscape. The mid-19th century saw the aftermath of the Napoleonic Wars, the rise of new European powers, and the expansion of the British Empire. Russell's foreign policy approach was characterized by a pragmatic and cautious stance. He sought to maintain a balance of power in Europe and protect British interests abroad. The emphasis on diplomacy and negotiations was a hallmark of his approach, as opposed to military interventions. One notable diplomatic achievement during Russell's tenure was the conclusion of the Treaty of Washington in 1846, which settled long-standing border disputes between the United States and Canada. Despite Lord John Russell's leadership during a transformative period, his premiership was not without controversies and challenges. Russell faced a multitude of issues that drew criticism from various quarters. One significant challenge was the economic turbulence that accompanied the repeal of the Corn Laws in 1846. The decision to embrace free trade and eliminate protective tariffs stirred opposition from those who believed it would adversely impact agricultural interests. The Irish potato famine posed another monumental challenge, testing the government's ability to provide effective relief and address the underlying issues contributing to the crisis. Russell's measures were criticized for being insufficient, and the severity of the famine left a lasting impact on Ireland's population and its relationship with the British government. Additionally, Russell grappled with internal dissent within the Whig Party, further complicating his ability to push through legislative agendas smoothly. These controversies and challenges highlighted the complexity of governance during a time of profound societal and economic change. The opposition, particularly the Conservative Party, seized upon the controversies and challenges faced by Russell's government to mount a robust critique of his leadership. The repeal of the Corn Laws, in particular, was a point of contention, with conservatives arguing that it hurt agricultural interests and jeopardized food security. Russell's response to the Irish potato famine also faced criticism. Some opponents argued that the government's relief efforts were inadequate and poorly coordinated, exacerbating the suffering of the Irish population. The opposition accused Russell of failing to grasp the severity of the crisis and implementing policies that fell short of addressing the root causes of the famine. Furthermore, internal divisions within the Whig Party provided the opposition with ammunition to question Russell's ability to lead effectively. Dissent on key policy issues, including reform measures and economic policies, fueled the narrative that Russell was struggling to maintain party cohesion and govern with a united front. Public perception of Lord John Russell during his premiership was influenced by a combination of factors, including the controversies he faced and the media's portrayal of his leadership. The popular press played a crucial role in shaping public opinion, and newspapers of the time were often politically aligned, amplifying both support and criticism. Russell's handling of the Irish potato famine, in particular, influenced public perception. While some appreciated the government's efforts to address the crisis, others condemned the perceived inadequacy of relief measures. The harsh reality of the famine and the widespread suffering contributed to a sense of disillusionment among sections of the public. The media of the time, though not as pervasive as today, played a crucial role in shaping the narrative around Russell's leadership. Editorial opinions, political cartoons, and public speeches all contributed to a complex tapestry of public sentiment. Russell's image was, at times, tarnished by the controversies and criticisms, further complicating his efforts to maintain public support. Lord John Russell's political career left a lasting impact on British history, and his contributions continue to be a subject of evaluation and debate. Russell's most significant legacy lies in his commitment to liberal and reformist ideals. His advocacy for parliamentary reform, evidenced by his support for the Reform Act of 1832 and the repeal of the Corn Laws in 1846, marked a shift toward a more inclusive and economically liberal political landscape. Additionally, Russell's focus on educational reforms and social progress demonstrated a dedication to addressing the socio-economic inequalities of the time. The Factory Acts and other legislative initiatives aimed at improving working conditions reflected a concern for the welfare of the working class. Lord John Russell's impact on British politics and society can be seen in the long-term consequences of his policy decisions. The repeal of the Corn Laws, for example, was a watershed moment that signaled a departure from protectionist economic policies. It contributed to the establishment of free trade as a fundamental principle of British economic thought, shaping the trajectory of the nation's economic policies for decades. Russell's advocacy for parliamentary reform and the extension of voting rights laid the groundwork for subsequent political developments. While the Reform Act of 1832 was a significant step, further extensions of suffrage occurred in the years following Russell's premiership, reflecting an ongoing commitment to democratic ideals. His approach to social issues, including labor conditions and education, left an imprint on subsequent discussions about social reform in Britain. The Factory Acts, in particular, set a precedent for government intervention in labor relations and the protection of workers' rights. Lord John Russell's influence extended beyond his time in office, shaping the thinking of subsequent political leaders and movements. His commitment to liberal and progressive ideals resonated with later generations of politicians who sought to continue the trajectory of social and political reforms. Russell's pragmatic approach to foreign policy, emphasizing diplomacy over military intervention, left a mark on subsequent leaders who navigated Britain's role in global affairs. The Treaty of Washington in 1846, which resolved border disputes with the United States, reflected a diplomatic strategy that sought peaceful resolutions to international conflicts. While Russell faced challenges and criticisms during his premiership, his legacy endured in the Whig Party's commitment to liberal principles. Subsequent leaders within the Whig and Later, liberal parties drew inspiration from Russell's efforts to reconcile traditional values with the demands of a changing society. Lord John Russell's leadership during the years 1846 to 1852 was marked by a combination of challenges, controversies, and impactful policy decisions. As Prime Minister, he faced a series of significant events, including the Irish potato famine, the repeal of the Corn Laws, and broader debates on parliamentary reform and social progress. Russell navigated these challenges with a mix of pragmatism, commitment to liberal ideals, and attempts to address pressing issues facing British society. His response to the Irish potato famine, while met with criticism for its perceived inadequacies, showcased an attempt to provide relief in the face of a humanitarian crisis. The repeal of the Corn Laws demonstrated a commitment to free trade principles and set the stage for a more liberal economic policy in Britain. Russell's premiership was also characterized by legislative initiatives aimed at addressing social inequalities, including educational reforms and labor protections. The significance of Lord John Russell's political legacy lies in his role as a key figure in the Whig Party during a period of profound change. His advocacy for liberal and reformist principles left an enduring impact on British politics, contributing to the evolution of economic policies and the expansion of democratic ideals. Russell's leadership, while facing criticism and challenges, played a crucial role in shaping the trajectory of mid-19th century Britain. Russell's legacy extends beyond specific policy decisions. His emphasis on parliamentary reform and the extension of voting rights set the stage for ongoing discussions about the nature of democracy in the United Kingdom. The pursuit of free trade principles, evident in the repeal of the Corn Laws, influenced subsequent economic policies and Britain's position in the global marketplace. In considering Lord John Russell's role in shaping mid-19th century Britain, it is essential to recognize the complexity of the political landscape he navigated. Russell's leadership was characterized by a commitment to adapting traditional values to the demands of a rapidly changing society. His legacy lies not only in specific policy initiatives but also in the broader influence of liberal and progressive ideals that continued to shape the trajectory of British politics in the decades that followed. While Russell faced challenges and controversies during his time as Prime Minister, his contributions to economic liberalism, social reform, and diplomatic pragmatism left an indelible mark on the era. His legacy endures as a reflection of the dynamic interplay between tradition and progress, providing valuable insights into the complexities of governance during a transformative period in British history. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this in the future.